So the shop is gone. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the channel. Today's episode we are going over the demolition of our garage. If you are new to the channel and you like what you see, please consider liking and hitting that subscribe button. This is a running series of our shop build. Last episode I went over the old garage and our intentions of our new shop, so please check that out if you haven't. I'm going to do things a little differently this time. I'm going to do a voiceover over top of the clips of the garage being demolished. I hope you enjoy. There's a few things I gotta say about demo. First and foremost, if you're gonna tackle any project similar to this one, if you don't know your neighbors, you're about to. Luckily for us, our neighbors are really supportive people, so we have no issues here. But if you have any funny neighbor stories involving your construction project, please leave them down in the comments. I know I have a million of them. The other thing I have to say about demolition is, contrary to all the renovation shows you've probably seen online, it's where they hand the homeowners a sledgehammer and they go to town, and then it suddenly, cuts to commercial, then, the whole kitchen's gone. It is almost always easier to just take stuff down in sections and load it up into the trailer or dumpster or whatever in big pieces. Like, for example, in this garage here, we used a skill saw with a, kind of dull blade, and we cut right through the shingles and the roof structure, and we strategically dropped them to the ground. We were able to do this because we learned during the initial clean out of this garage that since it's been kind of cobbled together over the last few decades, I'll show a few clips here. A lot of it was actually done with a substructure of steel angle iron, and then wood was built around it. If you look at the clip of the roof line, you'll see that a lot of the roof is flat, and then it kind of dips where the steel structure ends. So we're able to actually take off the roof sections without the whole thing falling down because the substructure is holding it together, kind of like a skeleton. It's funny, I said in the last video that I think the back section was made out of a bus station, and I googled 1970s GO station, which is transportation in Canada, and I found a few pictures of the Pickering GO station where the structures look oddly similar. Another good example of the cutting things into sections for demolition is showers and anything with tile on it. We prefer to use a multi-tool to cut the surrounding drywall around a shower wall, for example, and when you pry that drywall, the screws will pop through the back, and you can actually pull the whole wall off in sections that you can just carry out to your dumpster or whatever in it. Less mess, sharp tiles on the ground, less cause of injury, and it's just a cleaner space. Another quick major tip that I have to give to anyone looking to start a project like this, actually I should say it's advice I should give to everybody, especially homeowners, is get yourself a giant magnet. There's a few different kinds of them, like there's the ones that come on wheels and you push it around like a broom. The one we have here just sits on like kind of a tether, and I swing it back and forth as I walk, and it collects all the nails and stuff. Great investment. If you catch one of these in your tire, you're gonna have a bad time.
You French fry when you pizza, you're gonna have a bad time.
There are a million ways to demolish a building, and I find that you have solid communication with whoever you're working with, and you take your time. It's a lot simpler than it looks. A lot of people might look at this stuff as dangerous or unpredictable, but trust me, I've injured my body more moving furniture for friends than I've ever had doing demolition. The hardest part of this project so far has been getting rid of the slab. The concrete, luckily for us, didn't have any rebar, but it did have some angle iron support in random places. But the issue was, it actually was about 7 inches thick at the front end of the building and about 10 inches thick towards the back corner. So we used two different methods. One is electric jackhammer that we have, and a sledge. And we would just break it into chunks, and I would use a pry bar to separate the pieces, and then we would load it up into our dump trailer and we would send it off to a concrete recycling plant. The back section was actually closer to about 10 inches thick, so we actually used a product called Dexpan. If you don't know what that is, it's an expanding grout that helps break up the concrete. With products like Dexpan, you have to drill 1-inch diameter holes with a rotary hammer about 12 to 18 inches apart, and then you mix up the grout and pour it into these holes, and then in about 24 hours you can come back and the concrete has cracks in it, which makes it a lot easier to break up. Keep in mind, like there is a time cost to this. You spend time drilling all these holes and then you have to come back later. Even though it took longer to drill these holes, it was a lot easier to break up the concrete even with the sledge or with the assistance of the jackhammer, and I think it was worth the money. Now that the slab is gone, we will start next week laying out the area for excavation, starting to work our way towards forming for the foundation. So if that interests you, if you like this series and like to continue watch it, please subscribe and stay tuned for that. If you liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. It would really help me out. Thank you for watching.